Part 117. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1161. Chapter 1161. Let me peel an apple for you. Yu Lingfeng raised her eyebrows and asked, is there such a thing? Xia Ying curled her lips and said, well, there are still many things you don't know. Yu Lingfeng cursed, for example. Xia Ying felt guilty, so she kept silent, quickened her pace, and skipped this question. When they arrived at the ward, Jun's father and mother were all there. After seeing Xia Ying and saying hello, Xia Ying walked towards Jun Chenai. Jun Chenai's face was pale, the optical fiber of his pupils was also very dim, and his eyelids were so heavy that he could not lift them up. Xia Ying looked at it and felt really distressed. For a moment, she couldn't tell whether Jun Chenai was really sick or fake. However, second Uncle Jun was right in what he said. Jun's father and mother's eyes were indeed red from crying. Jun's father, a person who does not show his emotions easily, also had red eyes. It seems that Jun Chenai has found his parents to cooperate in completing the play. Your father and mother also knew the truth early on, and Jun Chenai revealed it to them because he would need their help and cooperation in the future. Although he feels distressed and feels risky, for the safety and future of his son, Jun Chenai's approach is undoubtedly the best choice. Naturally, the happiest thing for them was that Jun Chenai was safe and sound. There has never been any weak or incompetent descendant in their family. Grandpa Jun was indeed right at first. Even though Jun Chenai was so young at the time, Grandpa Jun could see through everything at a glance. Jun Xianyan said that this person is too utilitarian, too decisive in doing things, and ruthless. If the Jun family is left in his hands, bad things will happen in the future. Jun Liang is a man with good ability, but his mind is too simple and easily controlled by others. Only Jun Chenai is the best candidate, with the demeanor of a general. You guys came quite quickly. Jun Chenai joked. Listening to the cheerful tone, Xia Ying recovered from the illusion of being deceived by his appearance and breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, they are all fake. I just saw your uncle and second uncle in the corridor. Jun Chenai lowered his lips with some disdain. Second uncle must be very happy. It must be a great feeling to see with your own eyes that the person who was the most threatening at the beginning has now become a weakling lying on the hospital bed. I'm happy but I don't see it, but I still seem to care about you. Pretend. Jun Chenai interrupted without hesitation. Xia Ying was stunned for a moment. After all, it was someone else's family matter, so she didn't say anything or defend herself. By the way, why didn't your third uncle come? He was the first to come, together with Jun Liang. Jun Chenai's eyes darkened a little as he recalled that scene. It was when Jun Xianyang came over that he couldn't even hide the slightest bit of joy. Although he still pretended to be friendly, sympathetic, and caring in front of Jun Chenai's parents, Jun Chenai couldn't bear to look at those fake and cowardly faces. I wished to look straight at him, and I couldn't help but want to get up and blow his head off immediately. Jun Xianyan should really learn how to act, but his acting skills are so poor that I can't even see him. Let me peel an apple for you. Xia Ying sat down aside, picked up a fruit knife, and peeled an apple. Jun Chenai looked at her with gentle eyebrows, and was lost in thought for a while. If Yu Lingfeng wasn't there, he would sometimes selfishly think that he could reach out and get the girl in front of him. After Jun Chenai calmed down, he felt that the atmosphere was a little awkward without talking, so he started chatting. You killed Xiao Ran so easily. Aren't you afraid that people from Qincha will settle the score with you? End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1162. Chapter 1162. From childhood to adulthood, there is only one person. Xia Ying paused in the action of peeling apples, then raised her eyes to look at Jun Chenai. The people in Qinsha already regarded me and Yu Lingfeng as our mortal enemies, but now it's just one more reason to kill, nothing special. Jun Chenai narrowed his eyes and looked at Yu Lingfeng with a half smile. It hasn't changed for a while, and you've nurtured Xia Ying into this. It had just been a while since they last met, and Xia Ying gave him the feeling that she was indifferent to life and death. Yu Lingfeng's expression didn't change much. She's always been like this. Maybe you don't know her well yet. Xia Ying was stunned for a moment, frowning. Although she did not raise her head, she felt that the tone of the two people talking gave her a strange feeling. Xia Ying felt the temperature above her head drop sharply. The moment Yu Lingfeng and Jun Chenai's eyes met, the air suddenly became damp and cold. Jun Chenai narrowed his eyes and smiled, as if he was testing Yu Lingfeng's intentions. Why does he feel that something has changed about Yu Lingfeng? Does he still have such a grudge against him now? By the way, where is Rong Ci? Xia Ying handed the peeled apple to Jun Chenai. Jun Chenai said thank you and took a bite. I don't know where Rong Ci is now. Ever since Fanyan left him, he seems to have become a different person, wandering around without any purpose. I don't know where in the world he is now. Jun Chenai smiled lightly. Rong Ci went to see him on the set some time ago. After that, he never saw Rong Ci again, and there was no news about Rong Ci. This is quite similar to his Rong Ci style. When something happens, Rong Ci likes to escape and lick his wounds silently. One day when the wounds heal, he will join everyone with a new look, as if nothing happened. However, this time, how long does he need a buffer period? June, it's hard to tell, Chen Yi. After all, Rong Ci has only been attracted to one girl since she was a child. Rong Ci is a very emotional person, not to mention that the girl he liked left. If he learns about you online, he will definitely come to see you. Xia Ying muttered. Jun Chenai is Rong Ci's best friend in the Jun family. The two grew up together. Although they are not equals, they are like brothers. They have a deep relationship and are unmatched by anyone. Hope so. Jun Chenai lowered his head, looking a little sad. I'm going to the bathroom. Yu Lingfeng said softly, then turned and walked out of the ward. Yu Lingfeng walked to the end of the corridor, stood in front of the window, and contacted 11 Ju. How is the land search going? 11 Ju replied with a modal particle, alas. Yu Lingfeng was not too surprised by the expected result, but returned to him, continue checking. Good. Yu Lingfeng put down her phone and looked at the scenery outside the window. The majestic wind blew on her face, which made her feel cool and comfortable. Yu Lingfeng stretched out his hand, and felt a soft and refreshing touch on his hand. When he first came to this planet, he was extremely disgusted and homesick, but now, he is so reluctant to leave. Especially, he didn't know how to tell Xia Ying about this. He promised her not to leave, but now this promise is so heavy. Yu Lingfeng was lost in thought while looking out the window, and didn't notice a person appearing behind him. A pair of slender, white arms appeared on Yu Lingfeng's waist, hugging him tightly, and then, a delicate body came close to him. Yu Lingfeng was startled. It was Xia Ying. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 1163. Chapter 1163. I'll wait for you, wait for your return. What's wrong? Yu Lingfeng's voice was a little hoarse, but he tried his best to stay calm and not let Xia Ying notice anything was wrong. Yu Lingfeng, are you worried? Xia Ying's voice was very soft, and she spoke quietly against Yu Lingfeng's back. Yu Lingfeng paused and did not answer. You can't hide it from me. I have discovered some clues a long time ago. You suddenly fell ill and your body temperature dropped. During this period, you have been absent-minded. I don't know where 11 Ju went. Qianyans told me that I haven't seen 11 Ju for a long time. Although I don't know what you are doing, I want you to tell me personally, Xia Ying narrated calmly, but Yu Lingfeng felt very heavy because of this. I know what you are hiding from me must be no small matter. Xia Ying's voice became lower and lower as she spoke. Yu Lingfeng even felt that Xia Ying had guessed something. Although she said nothing, she seemed to know everything. Yu Lingfeng, no matter what happens, I just want to say that I will always be here, waiting for you to come back. By the time Xia Ying finished speaking the last word, Yu Lingfeng's eyes were already red. He closed his eyes, and a clear tear streaked down his face. This is the second time he has shed tears since he came to Earth. The first time was in the previous life, when Xia Ying died in front of him. It was also the only 2 times in his life. Yu Lingfeng didn't explain anything. He knew that Xia Ying already knew. I promise you, I will definitely come back. Yu Lingfeng's voice was low and hoarse. Xia Ying closed her eyes and said nothing, and her breathing became heavier. Not long after, Yu Lingfeng felt that his back was wet. When Rong Si woke up, he was lying in a clean and tidy room, with no one around him, and warm sunshine streaming in outside the window. Rong Si wanted to get up, but found a tearing pain in his chest. Rong Si took a breath of cold air, looked down at his wound, and saw that it had been wrapped with a bandage. In front of Rong Si's window, there were 2 more empty infusion bottle. There was also a white bandage on his hand. Rong Si glanced at the alarm clock on the bedside. It was already 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He didn't know how long he had been asleep. He only knew that the moment he fell, he seemed to see Sanskrit sounds. Fanyan was dressed in red and walked toward him. He didn't see her face clearly, but he was sure it was Fanyan at a glance. She has always been by his side and never left, but she never appeared. Rong Si thought so, struggled to get up, endured the pain, got out of bed, held onto the wall tremblingly, and walked forward with difficulty. Rong Si didn't take a few steps when the door opened. When Blue Whale saw Rong Si, he came over to support him in horror, trying to put him on the bed to rest again. Why are you up? You are very weak now and need to rest. Blue Whale's tone was reproachful. Rong Si pushed the Blue Whale away, and his own wounds were painful due to the exertion. Rong Si frowned and cried out in pain. Why does it hurt so much? It's not that he has never been shot before, but he has never been in such pain. This feeling is like thousands of silver needles pricking my wounds. Don't move, you can't exert force now. The Blue Whale was so anxious that he broke into a cold sweat, and it hurt even just looking at him. Where is the Sanskrit sound? Rong Si asked hurriedly, and then discovered that there were several bandage marks on the Blue Whale's body. That day, everyone was seriously injured. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 1164. Chapter 1164 Blue Enchantress. Blue Whale paused, as if he didn't understand Rong Si's words, and was stunned for a while. Rong Si, are you dreaming again? Otherwise it's fine, why did you mention Sanskrit again? Fanyan has been gone for so long, and there has been no news. Thinking of this, Blue Whale couldn't help but his eyes darkened a little, and he sighed. Rong Si frowned, grabbed Blue Whale's arm, and asked in a blunt tone, his eyes widened, as if in surprise, but more like in disbelief, what do you mean? I asked you where is the Sanskrit. Blue Whale pulled down Rong Si's hand. Even though Rong Si was injured, the force was still quite strong. He just pulled his arm, which made him feel raw pain. The Blue Whale itself was seriously injured and very weak, so it was even more unable to withstand Rong Si's strength. Rong Si, Calm down, Fanyan has left and she will not come back. Rongsi's eyes dimmed instantly. When Blue Whale looked at Rongsi's appearance, he felt very distressed. Rongsi, you want to be more open-minded? Blue Whale added this weakly, trying to comfort Rong Yan. Rongsi frowned, as if thinking of something, and looked at the Blue Whale suspiciously, but I clearly saw her. Rongsi's words sounded like gibberish to Blue Whale. His expression was tense, and what he said was incomprehensible. How is it possible? Rongkai, after Fanyan left, he never came back. No, I couldn't have seen it wrong. I remember seeing her when I fainted. Rongsi still remembers clearly that Fanyan likes to wear red the most. She was wearing a red dress and walked towards him that day. He must have read it right. That's not an illusion, it's not a dream, it's real, Rongsi can guarantee it. There is no excuse. She has really never been here. I guarantee it as a shadow hunter. Blue Whale said it with full confidence, so Rongkai naturally couldn't find any problems. However, he clearly remembered it so clearly, how could it be just an illusion? You have a good rest and take good care of yourself, otherwise Lan 11 will have wasted so much effort to rescue you. What did you say? Rongsi was startled suddenly, thinking he heard wrong. Lan 11? What does this matter have to do with her? The swords and bullets of those people are poisonous, and they sincerely want to kill us all. If Lan 11 hadn't arrived and saved us that day, all of us would have been cured, especially you. The bullet almost infected his heart. At that time, even if Hua Tuo was alive, there was nothing he could do. As Blue Whale spoke, he noticed the change in Rongsi's expression. Rongsi's brows furrowed deeper and deeper, as if he had some doubts about what he said, and he stared at him blankly. You mean Lan 11? Rongsi thought that it would not be such a coincidence that a person with the same name appeared. Yes, Lan 11. No, the blue tide you are talking about is blue, tide. Rongsi repeatedly confirmed. Blue Whale was confused by Rongsi's question and nodded. Yes, don't you know her? What do you mean, you all know her? The words are confused. In the end, he thought too much, or this Langzi, it was not simple in itself. Do you know the Blue Enchantress? The Blue Whale's face darkened and became serious. Rongsi suddenly realized that he naturally knew the famous Blue Enchantress in the world. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 1165. Chapter 1165. Don't you find it strange? The most famous killer organization in the world, an ancient organization Kincha, and a rising shadow hunter. In addition, there is also a Blue Enchantress who lives in legend without fighting against the world. The Blue Enchantress is a particularly mysterious organization, and the things it does have always been unpredictable. The organization Blue Demon Queen is best at using medicine, and the leaders of the organization for generations have been called Yao Lao by the outside world. However, this organization had become anonymous in the world half a century ago. Half a century ago, there was no shadow hunter organization. The Kincha family was the only one, and the Blue Enchantress later emerged. There was often a competitive relationship between the two, and they often had a feud with each other. Later, the two organizations had a fight, and the Kincha was so huge that it wiped out the Blue Enchantress in one fell swoop. From then on, no one from the Blue Enchantress appeared in the world, and this organization also gradually disappeared from the world. Even Rongsi, who has a wide range of sources of information, has never heard anything about the Blue Demon Queen. Everything he heard was from the legends of his ancestors. What do you mean, Lan 11, is she from the Blue Enchantress? Blue Whale nodded seriously. Yes, the people of Blue Demon Queen are the best at using medicine. Whether it is highly toxic poisons or antidotes for various difficult and complicated diseases, they can refine them. I also just know that, It turns out that the people in this organization are not dead yet, but there are still people left alive. But, she obviously. Lan 11's family situation is not unknown to Rong Ci. She looks just like any other person. How could she be from the Blue Enchantress? Where is she? Rong Ci was excited and raised his eyes to look at the blue whale. She went out to get some medicine for you. She has been there for 2 days and hasn't come back yet. For a while, Rong Ci found it difficult to accept this news. Did you know her early in the morning? No, we don't know her, but you. She came here for you. Don't you know her identity? Rong Ci was confused. He never told me her identity. That's not clear. Anyway, we just found out that there are still people in the Blue Fairy organization, Blue Whale said with joy in his tone, but even if there are still people, they must be only a few people. We are really lucky. If we hadn't met her, we would all be dead. Blue Whale was talking happily alone, while Rong Ci frowned and lowered his head, saying nothing. Blue Whale calmed down and looked at Rong Ci suspiciously. Brother Rong, what's wrong with you? Don't you find it strange? Why did she appear so promptly? Moreover, she shouldn't be here anymore. She should be in China. All of this is too deliberate. Rong Ci always felt that the reason behind it was not simple. From Lan 11's sudden appearance to now when she saved him, he always felt that everything was too deliberate, as if someone was controlling the situation behind his back. Rong Ci suffered from an occupational disease, so he had to be more rigorous. What's more, this is indeed a bit strange. Oh, brother Rong, that's what you're talking about. Lan 11 said that she knew you were going to perform this mission and was afraid that you would be in danger, so she followed us here secretly. She knows. Why does she know? Rong Ci was even more puzzled. Their actions were strictly confidential and impossible for outsiders to know. Then, I don't know. You can ask her again when she comes back. Blue Whale was also asked by Rong Ci and didn't know how to answer. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 1166. Chapter 1166. Why follow you through life and death? I thought you were familiar with each other, otherwise, why would a girl follow you through life and death? When Blue Whale said this, his tone was quite ambiguous. Rong Ci was stunned for a moment, then his face darkened. He glared at Blue Whale, and warned, "Don't talk nonsense, I didn't know she was following her secretly." She and I. Rong Ci paused, and he couldn't say that he wasn't familiar with her. After all, they were old acquaintances when they were young, but they could not be said to be very familiar with each other. After a while, he could not find any words to define the degree of familiarity between him and Lan 11. And Rong Ci's small pause had a different meaning to Blue Whale's ears. Blue Whale secretly smiled, and then pretended to be serious. "Okay, brother Rong, you can have a good rest. When Lan 11 comes back from collecting herbs, if you have any questions, it's not too late to ask them all then." The words are helpless and I don't know what to say, so I simply say nothing at all. Turning around and walking towards his bed, Blue Whale smoothed the quilt for Rong Ci. "You yourself are injured, take a good rest." Rong Ci said. Blue Whale smiled and said, "I know, brother Rong, I cherish my life the most, and I won't let anything happen to me." Blue Whale turned around and was about to leave, but Rong Ci stopped him again. "Hey, where did Lan 11 go to collect medicine? Having not come back for 2 days, these people are also not worried at all?" "I don't know. Lan 11 told us before she left that she might be there for several days. She told us not to worry. We also have your medicine ready for you during this time." Rong Ci said goodbye and said nothing. When Blue Whale turned to leave, he said to himself, by the way, this Chinese medicine culture is really broad and profound. Rong Ci looked grave and said nothing. After a while, Blue Whale brought dinner to Rong Ci. Rong Ci had already woken up and stayed in bed, thinking about something. Seeing the Blue Whale coming, Rong Ci raised his eyes and looked at him. Where are they? Blue Whale put down the food and looked at Rong Ci with a somewhat unsightly expression on his face. Brother Rong, they are all quite seriously injured, but I am the only one who is lucky enough to have no serious injuries. I can still get up and move around. Take care of you. You should pay more attention to yourself. Rong Ci glanced at the Blue Whale. It was clear that he himself was seriously injured, so he still wanted to show off. But it seemed that the others were really seriously injured, otherwise the Blue Whale wouldn't have delayed him. With sick bodies, I came to take care of them. With this thought, Rong Ci opened the quilt and prepared to get up. However, as soon as he made a move, the wound felt like tearing pain, forcing Rong Ci to sit on the bed again. Brother Rong, I told you not to be brave. Blue Whale was angry and quickly helped Rong Ci up and covered him with the quilt. Rong Ci frowned, his face warm and angry. Why is it so difficult for my wound to heal? Brother Rong, how many days have it been? They say you have been poisoned and it will definitely be difficult to recover. Can't you just recuperate like everyone else? Blue Whale and Rong Ci spoke in a tone like a teacher teaching disobedient primary school students. However, Rong Ci was indeed too disobedient. He repeatedly stressed to him the seriousness of his wound, but he didn't seem to take it seriously, and had to force himself to get up every time. Blue Whale, hire some nannies to take care of you, otherwise how can you heal your own wounds? Rong Ci changed the subject and stared at the Blue Whale's wound, which was still bandaged. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 1167. Chapter 1167 Uncontrollable Joy and Pride. Blue Whale shook his head and smiled bitterly. I'm fine, Brother Rong. When I was training before, I survived even more serious injuries than this. This injury is really nothing. Besides, I don't know, are there any remnants of that group of people and are there any ambush? If the nanny hired is also one of them, wouldn't that be just inviting a wolf into the house? As killers, they are always more worried and thoughtful than ordinary people. Blue Whale and the others have been trained. Under normal circumstances, they must not bring someone home without determining whether the other party is good or bad. Among the cleaning staff, the same is true for classes. What's more, they have long learned the natural law of dealing with injuries themselves, and it can't be changed at all for a while. Rong Ci saw that Blue Whale had made up his mind, so he stopped persuading him. Instead, he lowered his head and started eating without saying a word. Brother Rong, I'll leave first. I'll deliver food to them. Rong Kai nodded expressionlessly, thinking about something the whole time. Hanzija and Mu Niankai have received the blessings of both parents. The Mu family's parents have always doted on Mu Niankai. Everything is based on Mu Niankai's request. Naturally, they have no doubts about the person Mu Niankai likes. Of course, they didn't dare to do it, otherwise the little ancestor would have to go to the house to unveil the tiles. The parents of the Han family were naturally happy to hear about the possibility of marrying into the Mu family and joining forces. Therefore, the two families discussed holding the engagement ceremony as early as possible for the two of them, so that future business dealings would be more convenient and smooth. Mu Niankai has been studying music with a German teacher during this period, but she hasn't seen Hanzija for a long time. Hanzija took some time off from his busy schedule and made appointments with the kids on the football team to play around. A group of boys went to the KTV, ordered a box, and started chatting, singing, and drinking. Captain, I heard that you and the captain's wife are getting engaged. Do you want to officially give the captain's wife a title? A team member who has always liked gossip has long been eager to seek confirmation from Hanzija. Hanzija had just finished drinking a glass of wine. Hearing these words, he put the glass down, nodded slowly, and said, "Well, where did you hear that?" As far as he knows, this matter has not become known to the whole city, right? The date of the engagement is still being decided, but the news spreads quickly enough. "Captain, don't you know?" Another team member also came to join in the fun. "Yesterday, the eldest daughter of the Ning family held a birthday party and invited the captain's wife. Then a group of young ladies gathered together to chat. I don't know why they talked about you. It seems that Miss Ning family said she likes her. If you're the type, I wanted to invite you to a concert or something some other time." The captain's wife heard about it, and she came over with Miss Ning on the spot. She poured wine all over her and even scolded her until she cried. At that time that scene is called fun. Hanzija was stunned for a moment, then a smile gradually spread across his face. "Hey, why am I so uncontrollably happy and proud in my heart?" The captain's wife said it herself, "You are his fiancé," and she told Miss Ning not to have any ideas about you. Miss Ning's face was so dark at the time, it was so ugly, haha. "Well, I've told her many times to stop being so petty and jealous all the time. I can't control her anymore." Hanzija smiled angrily, shook his head half helplessly, half scornfully, and smiled. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1168. Chapter 1168, A Murder Caused by a Mobile Phone with an Invisible Screen. "Captain, your arrogance is clearly written on your face, you have to deal with it." "That's right, Captain, I always thought that the captain's wife was careless and didn't care much about you, but I didn't expect that she was speaking out of character, haha. The captain's wife has such a temper, how could she not care about the captain? You haven't seen the captain's wife attending every basketball game. You are afraid that the captain will be seduced by some beautiful elementary school girl." Hanzija couldn't hide the smile on his face. Listening to their teasing, he drank one cup after another. After a while, his face turned red. That's the way he is. He actually has a good drinking capacity, but he gets drunk easily. Hanzija glanced out of the corner of his eye and spotted Sujin-si, who had been silent all this time. He only raised his head to join the crowd for a few moments and had his head buried in playing with his mobile phone. "Hey, Jin-si, who are you chatting with?" Hanzija leaned forward to see what was going on. Unexpectedly, Sujin-si had quick eyesight and quick hands, and quickly turned off the screen. Hanzija could only see his red face through the black screen of his mobile phone. "No, Captain." Sujin-si sat up straight and looked at Hanzija with a well-behaved look. But the panic in his eyes was still caught by Hanzija. Hanzija narrowed his eyes, raised the corners of his mouth, and joked, "Remember, were you chatting with Yeziaksun?" Sujin-si's face was startled. Looking at the ambiguous looks from all around, he quickly waved his hands to clear the relationship. "No, it's really not true." "Oh, deputy team, why are you so shy? We have long seen that you and Yeziaksun have a special relationship." "Yes, this 1,000-year-old iron tree in our deputy team will finally bloom one day. It's a joy to congratulate. Let's have a drink." "Congratulations to the deputy team Lao Tisha for successfully getting out of singlehood." Sujin-si. Worn down by a mobile phone with an inflatable screen. "Don't be ridiculous." Sujin-si, who has always been good-tempered, rarely got angry for once. Everyone's words gradually disappeared as they looked at Sujin-si. Sujin-si's ears turned red and his eyes were bright. Sujin-si turned on his phone and showed everyone what he was doing just now. "Small saplings love donation." Hanzija was so close that he simply recited it, raising the last note, and then darkened his face. He looked at Sujin-si with a sense of enlightenment. Sure enough, the old iron tree is still the old iron tree. Everyone took a breath, and their faces changed several colors like a revolving door, and finally stayed at black. Ahem, please send us the URL of Jin Ci. It is everyone's responsibility to show love. Hanzaja joked, breaking the awkward atmosphere. Everyone echoed, yes, 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 show love, everyone has a responsibility. Your deputy team is still your deputy team. You will always fulfill the obligations of a good socialist young man and carry the hope of a new generation of Chinese people on your shoulders. Su Jinsi remained silent and silently shared the link to the football team group. Then a group of people followed the path of socialist love of Su Lao Ti Shijin social good young Ci. After Su Jinsi shared the link, a message popped up on the WeChat interface. Yeziok Suan, Su Jinsi, thank you for your notes. Su Jinsi was stunned, looked around, and after confirming that no one was looking at him, he typed a reply to Yeziok Suan, you're welcome. In the dormitory, Yeziok Suan jumped up from the bed and screamed excitedly. Tanguo's facial mask on the lower bunk was so shocked that she trembled. Su Jinsi actually responded to me instantly. Tanguo flattened the mask again, I thought there was an earthquake. End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 1169. Chapter 1169. Su Jinsi replied to me instantly. Su Jinsi actually responded to me instantly, Su Jinsi actually responded to me instantly, Su Jinsi. Stop. Tanguo couldn't stand listening anymore and quickly interrupted, Xiao Suan, how come you, a literary young woman like you, have no brainer than Muni Ankai when you fall in love with someone? Yeziok Sun's face immediately turned red when Tanguo teased her like this. I'm just excited. What's the use of being excited here? The least you can do is let Su Jinsi know that you like him. Tanguo started to feel anxious for Yeziok Suan. Hanzaja's football team is inherently eye-catching. There are several handsome guys in one team. Let's not talk about it, Captain Hanzaja. The famous plant already has its owner, and it's a piranha. The most popular one among them is Su Jinsi, who looks fair and elegant, and doesn't look like he plays football at all. Moreover, Su Jinsi is also a top student in the physics department. Naturally, he is also a well-known figure in the department of physics. He has fans all over the campus and is always being watched. Yeziok Sun is shy. The key is that after being ambiguous for so long, Yeziok Sun has never said that he likes her. What kind of thing is this? But if a girl takes the initiative to confess her love and pursues her, it will look very cheap, right? Yeziok Sun said something cowardly, which immediately silenced Tanguo. Tanguo's eyes dimmed. Yeziok Sun is right, the price is indeed very low, especially when people are not interested in you at all and you have been shameless for so many years. She has liked Chu Shengming for so many years, and Chu Shengming has always known about it. However, as a result, she has never come back since she went to country S. Tanguo has never seen him again, and perhaps will never see him again in the future. In the past, Tanguo had spent all her girlish reserve and impulsiveness on Chu Shengming, and now only regrets and sentimentality were left. Just think of it as the beautiful throbs and regrets of her teenage years. Who hasn't liked someone who doesn't like themselves when they were young? Not everyone is so lucky. The person they like happens to like them too. Seeing that Tanguo had been silent for so long, Yeziok Sun suddenly realized something and quickly explained, Candy, I didn't mean that. I mean, I'm not as good looking, as outstanding, and not as liked by so many people as you. I'm just ordinary. There is no difference between an ordinary girl and those girls who sit on the playground and peek at Su Jinsi. How can I be noticed without any shining points? I can only carefully let myself be in his life. Leave more traces and let him notice me. I'm afraid that if I confess suddenly, I will directly give up hope, make him disgusted, and directly classify me as that kind of girl who pesters him. Tanguo nodded, his eyes brightened, and he said thoughtfully, Xiao Suan, you are right. I was too stupid at the beginning. I confessed directly and was rejected directly. As a result, maybe Chu Shengming thinking of me now makes you feel annoyed. No, he may not think of me at all. After all, there are so many people who like him, so there is no one like me. She is essentially no different from those who are stalkers. She also thought about it. Now that he is gone, it is time for her to start a new life. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 1170. Chapter 1170, Doing such a stupid thing once in your life is enough. Yezioksun is right. She is so beautiful and outstanding. There are so many people who like her, and the drawers are filled with love letters. As long as she is willing to let go of Chu Shengming, maybe she can find a better one. For someone who doesn't like me, I chose a major that I have no interest in at all. Staying up late every day reciting books until very late, there is no rest day for girls at all. Because I want to be good enough, I want to get closer to his field, his life, I want to get closer to him, I want to know him better, and of course more importantly, I want to be able to be with him when I appear with him. Talking, at least, can make him notice himself. She used to be so stubborn and desperate in liking Chu Shengming. It is enough to do such a stupid thing once in your life. From now on, she will live the life she wants. However, what Tanguo didn't expect was that after being exposed to his things, she could not help but fall in love with pharmacology. Drugs are really a very magical and mysterious thing, just like him. Candy, what are you thinking about? Yezioksun poked his head down from the upper bunk and looked at Tanguo, which shocked Tanguo. You scared me to death, Xioksun. Tanguo covered her frightened chest and patted it. Yezioksun's long hair fell down, covering most of her face. She looked like a female ghost in a ghost movie, which scared her quite a bit. Little Candy, why don't you think about that graduate student brother who confessed to you a few days ago? He's good looking, a top student, personable, and has a warm smile. He's a perfect match for you. Tanguo rolled her eyes at Yezioksun, then picked up the pharmacology book beside her and said to Yezioksun seriously, no need, I love learning, and learning loves me. I wish us a happy marriage and a long life together. Yezioksun pouted and sat upright. Candy, are you really not going to ask Xia Ying to help you ask about Chu Shenming's situation? I promised to come back in half a year, and it's almost the new year. He hasn't come back yet. Could it be that he really doesn't plan to come back? But having said that, Chu Shengming was originally from S country, and his parents and family were all there. It seemed that there was nothing to be harsh on if he didn't come to China. It's just a pity that Tanguo's husband watching stone is all weathered. No news yet. No, I want to be more reserved. What's more, I won't be able to live without Chu Shengming. I still have my music and my profession. I don't have time to worry about this. But when it comes to Tanguo's music, ever since she studied this major, music has been forgotten by her. Sometimes when she is free, she just wants to rest. She doesn't know how often she will think of it. But his foundation is still there, his reputation is still there, and he keeps inviting invitations. However, Tanguo has long stopped accepting such invitations for performances. Tanguo said, how long have you not practiced music? As soon as the first note comes out, the audience can hear it. She didn't want everyone to hear imperfect music without any preparation, so she simply put down the music for the time being. We are the only ones left in the dormitory. Yezioksun said with emotion. Xiaoying went to the company, Muniankai went to practice music. You are studying to prepare for the postgraduate entrance examination, and I also have to think carefully about what I will do in the future. You have been so successful in writing books, wouldn't it be great to write books full-time after graduation? Tanguo answered. End of this chapter.